A year ago, we were given the opportunity to serve as field youth coordinators for Southeast Asia. The work with the NYI in Southeast Asia, if we were to describe it, is like building a house. I mean, I'm not an expert, I don't really know how to build a house, but what I imagine is that when you build a house, you first need to search for a plot of land, and then you hire an architect to design and plan for the house. Then you gather the resources, create the foundation, and so on. Each stage of the process is equally important, interrelated, and dependent on the other. You can't start one part without first finishing the other. Now, we are extremely thankful and grateful for our predecessors that have sought and bought the land and got the architect and all that. Thank you, Belinda and Tom, for starting the work. And now our job now is to continue the work, to continue to build from what they have started. And you can see there's a lot of work to do. Now we love our work. We love the NYI. We love our leaders. And honestly, it is what we love the most about being part of this field and the Church of the Nazarene. Although many Asian cultures do not view young people in a positive light, young people oftentimes aren't really respected and they're looked down on in many cultures, in many Asian cultures. And many Asian young people don't believe in themselves because of this. Now, it has been both a challenge and a tremendous privilege to disciple and advocate for our young people to become leaders of today and tomorrow. After 3 challenging years of pandemic, wars, and disasters, countries have now finally begun to open up again. So we finally got to meet the young people we have been working with via Zoom or online. It's been great to see them face to face. One particular country we were excited to hear that was opening is Myanmar. Now, if you've followed us, we've talked about this. Myanmar has had a rough time these past few years. They've had COVID, they have civil war, coup d'etat, but in spite of everything, they have been incredible. In spite of everything they've gone through and are still going through even up till today, the work of God still continues through the NYI or our young people. So, as soon as me and Ingrid heard that Myanmar is opening up again to tourism, we immediately planned a trip to the country to meet our leaders face to face, do a training, do meetings, a lot of catching up, and also just spend time with them, having fellowship with them. Now, everyone was very excited about this trip, and we planned for it carefully and meticulously. And you know what? Everything seemed to be falling into place except for one thing: Jubilee's separation anxiety. The little girl has been having a hard time whenever Papa is out of sight, even just for a few seconds. But this is normal for children her age. So we tried our best. We tried our best to prepare her until the very day that I was leaving. Now, this would also be the first time in our marriage that Ingrid and I would be away from each other temporarily and geographically. Now, we've always done things together, and I believe that we work better together. But because of the civil war in Myanmar, it is still not safe to bring her and the kids. But we were assured that the capital, Yangon, was safe. So that's where we decided to do the trainings and the meetings. Now the day had come for me to leave, and as the hour of my departure drew near, this may sound dramatic, but tears were shed and promises were made. Ingrid and I hugged each other tightly, and I just couldn't stop hugging and kissing the kids. I think I shed a few tear or two there also. But the hardest part was getting on the taxi and seeing Ingrid and Jubilee cry through the taxi's rearview mirror. I haven't gotten to the airport yet, but I already wanted to go home, to go back. But this was necessary, and I kept reminding myself that this is a very important trip. As soon as I arrived at the airport, I went straight to the check-in counter. A piece of my heart is still at home, so again, I had to keep reminding myself to stay focused. And so when it was my turn, I tried to give my biggest smile as I turned in my passport and travel documents. And after a while, the airline crew asked me, she said, "Sir, or Mr. Lustanya, where is your visa to Myanmar?" Now here's the thing. Myanmar is a part of an alliance of Southeast Asian nations, also known as ASEAN or ASEAN. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'll just say ASEAN citizens have certain privileges, like, we can drive in each other's countries without, needing to get a local driver's license, and Asian countries can enter each other's countries without a visa. The Philippines, where I come from, is also part of the Asian Alliance. So, according to Asian rules and the recent updates on the Myanmar government website, that as a Filipino passport holder, as a Filipino citizen, I am allowed to enter Myanmar visa-free for 14 days. Now, I'm only going to be there for 2 days. So I explained and showed them the Asian law and this policy shown in the Myanmar government website, saying that I don't need a visa. So the airline read, looked at it, and so she went on the phone, she called her manager, and they called the immigration team in Myanmar, and they moved me from one counter to another, and then they even brought me to the Thai immigration center, made me sit, and the airline crew and the Thai immigration officers have my phone, reading it, telling the people on the other line in the Myanmar immigration that this is the policy, this is what they wrote on their website. Long story short, after this chaos, this fast chaos, Myanmar immigration said that they were no longer observing this law. And not only were they denying all Asian passport holders without a visa, they were denying everyone who wouldn't buy the COVID insurance from the Myanmar government. The Thai staff and crew were all very, very apologetic and were also visibly frustrated as they had to turn away not just me, but many, many Asian or ASEAN nationals away at the check-in. The Myanmar government refused also to reimburse anyone's tickets and hotel accommodations. Now, I was sad, really, because we prepared for this. We had sleepless nights preparing for this training, but also semi-relieved that I get to go home to my family. I called Ingrid and told her the news, and she was both also happy and sad, like me. I also contacted our leaders in Myanmar, Saya Moses and Saya Jonathan, and they were very, very understanding and comforting. You guys are awesome. Turns out that day, Saya Moses told me that the Myanmar government executed 4 leaders of the People's Resistance like a week ago or a month ago, I'm not sure. And there was a huge retaliation. That evening in the peaceful capital where we were supposed to have our training, bombs started exploding, bullets started flying, or gunshots started firing. And at this very moment, there's protests again in the capital. We thank God for His protection. Although it was frustrating to work so hard for this training and spend so much money that will never, by the way, get turned away at the airport. But you know what? We got our lives. And thanks be to God, our young people are not in the capital the day that all this chaos happened. We ask that you continue to pray for Southeast Asian NYI. Pray specifically for Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, and two nations that we cannot say. Each of our young people are struggling, whether it's war or exams. So please pray that we can build a solid foundation so for years to come, our NYI can continue to grow without fear. And if you feel led to donate or to help develop young leaders in Southeast Asia, then please, we encourage you to donate in the link provided. Thank you so much. Appreciate you all. Thank you for your love, support, and prayers. We'll see you in the next video. God bless. Bye bye.